The Zika virus goes back to Uganda, its place of origin in the continent of Africa. This was as far back as 1947, but the first time you ever see it in a human being is 1952. So what I want to do is talk with you guys about why is it that we're just now looking at this and why do we know so little about it. But most importantly, I want to talk about its diffusion, make it relevant from a geographical standpoint. Symptoms associated with the Zika virus are not super extreme, so it's very hard to diagnose and also might be mistaken for something else. Billions of people could be at risk of getting the Zika virus. In the United States, Zika kind of became a real deal and people started to really care about it and its diffusion ever since in May of 2015 whenever there was a few cases in Brazil, and then you've also got travelers that brought it to the United States and other parts of the developed world. So let's talk about its diffusion. Diffusion is defined by the way that something is going to start at a point of origin and expand, diffuse outward. And there are several different ways that we learned that diffusion can take place in human geography. The first of these things are going to be expansion diffusion, where when something diffuses or something goes out and about, it's still very, very important at the point of origin. The other form of diffusion that we discussed in human geography is relocation, where something travels with human beings and that phenomenon typically will go with them as well. As for the Zika virus, there are several different ways that it can spread. The way that we all hear about it on the news and whatnot is through mosquitoes that might bite someone who is infected and then go off and bite someone else. These mosquitoes are kind of terrifying because, well, they exist in the United States and other places. They're known for carrying other types of diseases or whatnot. The mosquitoes that do bite and transfer the disease most of the time might attack us in the evening hours or during daylight. Not so much at night, even though they can still be known to bite at night as well. This here is a good case of a contagious diffusion pattern. In other words, one that doesn't really pick favorites among individuals of class or race or ethnicity or whatnot, but will still spread among individuals as they come into contact with other individuals as well as those mosquitoes. You can also see the Zika virus transmitted sexually. Many people don't know that. Probably the most alarming element of Zika virus is how it's transmitted from mothers to children. Mothers that come into contact with Zika virus while they are pregnant are more likely to develop a condition known as microcephaly, which actually causes deformations and mental issues with children upon their birth. This is the most terrifying element because there are so many pregnant women that could be put into the line of danger by the Zika virus, as right now we currently don't have any kinds of immunizations. And so since it is perfectly likely that the Zika virus can diffuse to other parts of even the developed world, such as parts of our country in the USA, there is a lot of unborn babies that could be put at risk of having microcephaly. Since the virus originated in the state of Uganda in the continent of Africa and it's somehow here, it couldn't have been through contagious diffusion. What we're looking at here is an example of relocation diffusion. In other words, in the United States, every single case is of someone who went somewhere else in the world where the disease was and brought it back with them via relocation. There are also some cases in the United States of it having been spread through sexual transmission. Some of the places where the disease is most rampant today, as well as in the past, would have been Africa, Southeast Asia, and some of the Pacific Islands. This is also probably part of the reason why we don't know a whole lot about it. You see, the disease has been around for half a century, but the fact remains that very few cases are reported, and we know very little about it. Certainly not to downplay the importance of lives in LDCs, but the fact that this was occurring potentially in LDCs, it really doesn't make it such an issue in the limelight of the developed world. And so this may very well be part of the reason why we don't know a whole lot about Zika virus, but nevertheless, the CDC and other agencies out there in the world say that this is going to be a very important thing, and at the moment we have no vaccinations for it. So we could see where this becomes a major global catastrophe and billions of people are said to be at risk of potential problems related to Zika virus. I hope you guys gained a little bit of knowledge about Zika virus. I hope you understand how it applies to diffusion in the context of human geography. And I hope to see you next time on AP Human Geography with Professor Dustin.